Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jordan Davis Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Davis, and today is the day that we finally get to see the full trailer of the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm going to preview what we could expect and what is the big OMG moment that will really get people to go out and buy tickets. And also, what is the future of Reylo? What will Reylo look like in the Rise of Skywalker? How will the legacy be after we see these three movies? And how will we see Reylo towards the end of the saga? But before I get into that, I would love if you could like and subscribe to my channel so you get more content like this. So I would appreciate it very much. So let's get right into it. Like I said, today is the day of the trailer. We've been waiting for so long. We've been speculating so long. What is going to be in this trailer? Well, I think for one we can tell that this is gonna show the full story and whatever is going to be in this movie. What is the story and how is the story going to conclude the saga? And obviously we know that the story is going to consist of Palpatine, Rey, and Ben. Those are the big three people who are going to drive the story. Mainly Rey and Ben, but I think it's going to be very interesting what they show because the only thing we know of Palpatine is his laugh. We don't know how he's going to be in this movie because I mean there's always been speculation, there's been so-called leaks about how he's gonna be in this movie, and is he gonna be a young Palpatine, or is he just gonna be a spirit that takes over people? We don't truly know, and I think it should be interesting when we watch this trailer tonight if they're going to expand on that. Are they actually gonna make him young and have, like, someone like speculated Matt Smith gonna be young Palpatine? Is he just gonna be a spirit that he takes over people one by one? So I think that's gonna be a very interesting thing to do and to look out for how Palpatine really comes into all of this. And also, I kind of wonder if they're going to expand more on Dark Ray, or they're just gonna wait for the movie to expand on that. Because in the last trailer, that really got a lot of people talking. Dark Ray with the red lightsaber. People saying, "Oh, it's a vision." It possibly could be. Maybe Ben is really seeing Dark Ray. We don't know. We really don't know. It'd be interesting if they expand on that in the trailer or show something big concerning Dark Ray. I think that would be an interesting take to go with the trailer. But I truly think there's a couple of possibilities they could go in this trailer, and obviously I'm excited to see some dialogue from the movie. I'm excited to hear the music, especially that new Kylo Ren heroic theme they've been, teasing. I'm excited to hear if we get more of that. But I really do think like how they give us the teaser trailer with Palpatine, the D23 footage we got of Dark Ray. They really showed and focused on Ray and her theme at the end. I believe that whatever is at the end of this trailer, whatever that OMG moment is that will get people to buy tickets, I think the last shot will be of Ben. I really do. And that would really make sense because you are really marketing three people of this movie who are really, really important to the plot. So I think it would just really complete the whole thing if you have a major Ben moment in this trailer. Now, I think they're gonna have a lot of Ben moments, but I think they're gonna probably give one away that wouldn't really spoil the movie. I'm not expecting Ben to ignite the legacy lightsaber, not a moment when he finally is redeemed and accepts his bloodline as a Skywalker and all of that. I I think there's a couple of things that we could expect. If not a big Ben moment, but I think maybe something concerning and involving Ben. So My first choice was maybe they show Ben walking onto the Millennium Falcon. I think in many ways that would be a great moment because finally he is going on on the Millennium Falcon, and in a way he is facing his past. That he's always wanted his past to die, but he is facing his past, and his past is kind of a symbolic nature created into the Millennium Falcon, and him finally getting past that and accepting what has happened in his past and moving on. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to destroy the Millennium Falcon. I don't think so. I think they are teasing that he could pilot the Millennium Falcon in some way. That should be very interesting. Um, so the second one, I believe it could be at the end of the trailer tonight, and what the OMG moment could be. I think it could be like a really intense Reylo moment, really teasing Reylo. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's romantic. I don't know if it's angsty, intense. Because the reason why I say it could be Reylo at the end, because they have been talking about Reylo a lot more in these interviews, in these magazines, in Empire magazine, in EW magazine, that Daisy Ridley is talking about how they're gonna get into Reylo into this movie. It's not skimmed over. It's a major plot point, and for good reason. It's been the central conflict and the central relationship through this trilogy, and it is the love story of this trilogy. You can like it or not, but that's what it is. It's just that simple. That's what JJ, that's what Ryan, that's what, and even JJ is going to finish it. It's the love story. And I think they're fully going to go into that. And I think it would be a good idea to really tell the general audience, this is where we're going. So we want you to be ready. And I truly believe that if they show something of romantic or romantic teasing, I think this would make the general audience be, I didn't I didn't see that coming. So that will make them want to watch The Force Awakens again. Will make them want to watch The Last Jedi again to really understand where they're going, and the signs were there all along. So I think that could be a really good point they can go to really tell the general audience, not just in the marketing, but in this trailer, that this is where we're going with them, and you should get ready for what we have in store. So I think the third thing could be the actual reveal of Palpatine, because I also believe that that's going to get a lot of tickets. Seeing Palpatine again, really going to get the nostalgia of it. I mean, you can set up the scene of Ben and Rey igniting the lightsaber, and you see Palpatine come into focus and he ignites his red lightsaber. That's if we actually see young Palpatine, because I'm really not sure what we could expect from Palpatine, and maybe seeing that shot, then we could actually see what could we expect, because I think this trailer is really gonna show us, it really gonna put on the right path of what we can expect. I really do. I think tonight is the night that we finally know, in some sense, which way J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio is going to end this saga and going to end the story of this trilogy. So I think that would be a good indication of how Palpatine would really be used. Is he just going to be a spirit? Is he just going to be an actual person? So I think that's going to be interesting to think about, and that could be a possibility. Now, the fourth one is an interesting one that I thought of. I thought of, what if they tease Anakin? Because I always wondered, okay, they have Palpatine in this movie. Wouldn't it just make sense for them to bring back Anakin? If you think about it, why wouldn't Anakin come back? And I think it all comes back all to Ben and Bendemption with Anakin as well. And maybe he helps Rey and Ben at the end. But I think they could tease Anakin's voice of just saying Ben, and showing Ben turn around saying and being shocked, and he says grandfather, like he said grandfather in The Force Awakens, and he finally sees his grandfather. I think that would be very, very mind blowing, and that would get people to the tickets right away because they are truly giving us everything that we ever wanted. They're giving us Palpatine, they're giving us Reylo, they're giving us Anakin, and, and if we do get Anakin, I think it's going to be a tease that Anakin is confronting his grandson. I really do. That would be such a big moment. That would get everybody jumping up and down. That would get the prequel lovers jumping up and down, Anakin lovers. I think it would get the whole Star Wars universe who wants to see this movie or is even on the fence of seeing this movie. That would really get them over really wanting to buy tickets and really getting excited for this movie because I just know they have to top in some way, in some form, what they did for the final trailer at the end of The Last Jedi trailer. As we all know, when we saw that, Kylo Ren handing out his hand to Rey. So what is going to top that? What can beat that big moment? Because as you all remember, that was a big freak out moment. That was a big OMG moment. So I'm just wondering how are they gonna really top that? And I think either we get a big Ben moment that teases his redemption, we get a intense Reylo moment, really teasing Reylo, maybe some romance into it. I think third could be young Palpatine, could be something like that, or just really teasing how Palpatine really comes into all of this. And four, the big four, Anakin, really hearing the voice of Anakin talking to a shocked Ben. So that could be one one of the four things that can be a really OMG moment. And hey, maybe there's a totally different character that we might see that we haven't heard of at all that could appear at the end of this trailer. So anything can really happen. Anything. So we really just have to sit tight, buckle a seatbelt, and it's really gonna be an intense experience tonight. So I am excited just as much as you are, and I am for sure going to have a reaction podcast the next day. So you're gonna hear all the notes that I have and what I think about the trailer, what I think about the kind of music they play, what kind of dialogue. We're gonna talk about all about that tomorrow. So you're gonna get 2 episodes in 1 week. So this is gonna be a very exciting time for Star Wars fans. So I'm really, really excited what they're gonna give us tonight. And yes, even though I have to watch a Patriots game, I think this is going to be worth it. I think they're going to give us something really, really special here. So, so I want your feedback on this. How excited are you about this trailer? What are the possible things that we could expect at the end of this trailer? Will we get some Reylo? Will we get Anakin? Will we get something concerning Ben? Give me your feedback in the comments below and tell me what are you most excited about this trailer? And how do you think this trailer is going to show the story of the Rise of Skywalker and how this story is going to end? So, I'd love to hear from you. I'm excited to hear what kind of comments you have. So, to the next topic, let's talk about Reylo. Let's talk about the future of Reylo. As I said before, Daisy Ridley had a couple of quotes in Entertainment Weekly promoting The Rise of Skywalker. And she said that she's very aware of theories and speculation and all that stuff, and even the, the group in the theories of Reylo and how this relationship could end, could be concluded. And I thought an interesting quote. It was kind of bland. It was kind of vanilla. I mean, there wasn't really anything to really chew on besides really saying that they're not that they're not gonna skim over the relationship. They're really going to go into it. It's really going to be a big plot point in this movie. And that, like she said at D23, it's going to be very satisfying for Reylo fans. And and I believe that. I believe it will be satisfying because we're at a point of there's no more room to be ambiguous. In my mind, you're either going to go for it or you're not at all. And I believe they're going to go for it. I think they're finally going to reveal their hand and saying, this is what we've been planning all along. And I don't get why the people think they didn't have a plan because that's not true. You need to have a plan if you're going to make this trilogy. Now, it might not be the plan that you want or that you envisioned, but this was the plan all along. The plan was to be about Ray and Ben, about their conflict, about their relationship that they have for one each other, the emotion, their force bond, and how that plays into the whole saga and trilogy. So, Reylo was always the plan. And I really think it was interesting to talk about the toxic nature of this relationship because I agree with you that it is toxic in a way. It's not toxic when Ben Solo is Ben Solo, but as we all know, if Kylo Ren stays Kylo Ren, then it can't happen. Then it is toxic. Then, as we can all agree, that's not the kind of relationship that we want. Ben Solo has to be redeemed. Ben Solo has to rise from the ashes of Kylo Ren to truly have Reylo happen. It just would make sense. It's just would make everything right. So we need Bendemption for Reylo. We need Ben Solo's redemption for us to even have a chance at Reylo. And I think it's really interesting that they can actually be having a conversation about what they've been putting through each other because in a way they've been toxic to each other. They really have. I mean, Rey sliced his face open like a Thanksgiving turkey in The Force Awakens and almost tried to kill him. Then with Ben, he really didn't say the right things to her, saying that she's nothing and you have no place in the story. And that wasn't the exactly right thing to say. So they have some issues to really need to talk about with each other and with their relationship. And I think talking about the issues that they have with each other is a healthy relationship. And to really talk about it and get past that, I think that would be a really good sign of really moving forward and really having a chance with each other. Because we know Ben Solo has feelings towards her, and I do believe Rey is in love with Ben Solo. It's just she is not in love with Kylo Ren. And it should be interesting in how they go with the Reylo and how JJ will really finish the story because they've been preaching, they've been saying it's going to be satisfying, it's going to be satisfying. They really are going to really give answers to questions that we've been wanting in this trilogy and into the saga. And I think the many questions they will answer will be real as long as, Ben being redeemed and stuff. And I think when we look back on this relationship, how we look back on relationships like Han and Leia, Anakin and Padme, I think Reylo will, in a way, be in the same category as them as a romantic kind of relationship. But I think their relationship is something a lot more special that we've never seen in Star Wars. At least not in the new canon Star Wars because they're always compared to Bastila and Revan. And there's a good point. They could be the canonized version of Bastila and Revan. But I think their relationship will be, when we look back on it, will be such an intimate and personal relationship that we've ever seen in Star Wars. I think them bringing balance to the galaxy. Because if we really think about it, the thing that split apart this galaxy and made such a massive destruction and war of it was the love that um Anakin and Padme had for each other. That was so that's a toxic relationship. No doubt, that's a toxic relationship. And I believe it will not end the same way. I believe that Ray and Ben's love that they have for each other, and I think it goes even deeper than love. I think you can say soulmates. Most definitely, you could say soulmates. And maybe that's kind of a way what the Force bond is. They're soulmates. That's why they're so connected through the Force, and that's why they have their Force bond, is because that is a version in Star Wars that you could say is soulmates. And I think it's much deeper than love. It's really these two people are going to heal the galaxy. Their love will do something that Padme and Anakin could never do at all. And I'm going to be really excited and see if they go that route because, as we all know, this is a modern day fairy tale. Because I've always said that the sequel trilogy is a mixture of The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Pride and Prejudice. And I really do believe it will show that. And I believe that's what this trilogy will be at the end. Now I could be wrong. I hope I'm not. I don't think I am. But anything is possible. I could, they could go anyway. So, yeah, I think the future is bright for Reylo as much as it is as their relationship is. The romantic relationship is pretty bright because I think you always need to think about what is the second act in that relationship telling in a story sense. If there's a crisis or a separation in a relationship, especially in fairy tales, in stories like this, you know it's not going to end like that. If the second act is happy, you know it's going to feel, especially from Anakin and Padme. And we all know how that turned out. Han and Leia, separation, crisis. And what happened in the end? They found each other and they stayed with each other. Now, what is going to happen with Reylo? Anything could be. But I truly believe they're going to follow the third act of their relationship is going to be coming together, being together. And that's going to consist of Ben being redeemed and living. So I think that's my take on the future of Reylo. I truly believe JJ and Chris Terrio is going to come through and telling a great story and telling their version of Reylo. And I think their version of Reylo will be pretty much everyone's version of Reylo and will be satisfying. I truly do. So I think that is going to be the end of today's podcast. I'd like to thank you for all listening to me. And remember, I'm going to also be doing another podcast tomorrow about breaking down the whole trailer and breaking down everything that is involved with this big trailer tonight. So make sure to check in tomorrow. And I'm so excited to talk about this trailer with you and speculate even more and for us to have a clear vision of what this movie is going to be. So until tomorrow, I hope you have a blessed and fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.